Welcome back, everybody, to episode 3 of the ABCCL Alumni Series. I'm Jordan Leonard, sitting down today with Trey Dombroski, the fourth-round pick in 2022 by the Houston Astros. He's a left-handed pitcher, originally went to Monmouth, and also played in the ABCCL in the summer of 2020. Currently plays for the Single-A affiliate for the Houston Astros, the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. How's the season going so far, Trey?
I just want to say thank you for letting me come on, and the season's going great so far. It's definitely it's different than college because you get to play every day. But it's going really good, and we got a really good group of guys, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to your experience so far in the professional ranks, but going back, way back to the memory book, have you always been a pitcher? If not, what position did you play?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. I growing up, I was actually a lefty catcher for my all-star team, and very unconventional. But then that kind of formed into playing a little bit of first base, and my dreams of playing first base kind of ended when I was 14, 15, and that's kind of when I started pitching, and the rest is it's been a really good time.
So the fact that you've kind of developed into a pitcher, was there anybody or a player specifically that you've modeled your pitching windup after?
Yeah, so Clayton Kershaw is actually a name that always comes to my mind because I just growing up, I always saw how good he was, and it was important to me because I also saw that off the field he was just a really good dude, and he always did the right things, and that kind of made me kind of cater towards him, and like I said, I've been trying to model my game after him.
Well, if there's a lefty pitcher to model a game after, Clayton Kershaw is definitely the right one to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned you played first base. Obviously, now you pitch in the professional ranks. When was the last time that you took BP or swung the bat?
Ooh, that's actually funny. So at Monmouth, we used to do a thing called Hit-a-thon where it was like a big donations day and people would pledge money for you to hit home runs. And so that was my junior year or sophomore year. That was my sophomore year. That was the last time I took BP. So it's been definitely been a little while.
That's awesome. So you did play in the ABCCL in the shortened 2020 summer season, but what did you kind of gain out of your experience in the limited time you got to play in the league?
Yeah, that was during COVID, so that was definitely a tough time, and it was unbelievable because all the guys in that league were guys that were going to go to big leagues, but that weren't able to play because of COVID. So it was definitely really good. I got to learn from a ton of guys, and there was a ton of guys on my team that are playing professional baseball right now. So it's kind of cool to see them crushing it and killing it. So it was definitely a really good experience to get to learn from them.
Yeah. So in high school, you played at Wall High School. Then you went to Monmouth. You pretty much dominated throughout high school. It was a little bit of adjustment period once you got to college. What was that experience like, kind of adjusting to the college game and maybe refining your pitching a little bit to that step up in competition?
Yeah, it's definitely different because you go from being the oldest to being the youngest in college. I was 18 years old playing kids that were 21, 22, and it's basically just like a maturity thing kind of, you see that guys are bigger, stronger, and just mentally tougher. So my freshman year was kind of like a learning period where I had to go out there and do what I was best at, and I definitely learned that you kind of got to go the extra mile to succeed. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's more mental than it is physical at that point. Whereas I always thought it was more physical than mental.
Yeah, you mentioned that you took your kind of your windup out of off of Clayton Kershaw. How would you describe your approach on the mound? Some people throw hard, try to strike people out. Some people kind of just try, or some pitchers try to pitch to contact. How would you describe your approach?
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like an old school pitcher, whereas I kind of just rely on my arsenal and just my ability to throw different pitches in different counts. So like you said, I'm not gonna blow you away with velocity. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely trying to work on that. But I'm just a pitcher that has four different pitches and likes to throw them in all the counts and keeps you off balance.
And then you got drafted by the Houston Astros in 2022. What was that experience like to hear your name called and just to realize that you're going to play professional baseball?
Yeah, it was one of the most surreal moments of my life so far. I was actually in my backyard with my family, my friends, all the people that really mean a lot to me. And it was funny. I was on my phone looking at the draft tracker, and the TV was like a couple picks behind. So my agent called me and he was like, "Hey, it's either going to be the Blue Jays or the Astros, or it could be neither. It's just how the cards fall." And the Blue Jays pick went. I didn't go, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Like this is big." And I saw the Astros go, and I'm sitting there refreshing the draft tracker every second, and my name popped up. And I didn't really know what to do. It was kind of weird. I was like, do I tell everyone? Do I let it sit? So I didn't tell anyone, and then it went up on the TV. So it was unbelievable, and I'm forever grateful for it.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. I can't imagine
Yeah.
just sitting there with your whole family
Yeah,
around
I
you.
see. I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I don't want to ruin it, so I'm just gonna let it go on the TV and act like I didn't see it.
Hey, that's an awesome story. So obviously now with the pitch clock going in college and also professional, has that been an adjustment kind of going at a quicker pace, or were you always kind of a quicker pitcher?
In some respects it has been. But I would say for the most part, I've always kind of been a pitcher who likes to get in his groove. And, once I keep throwing strikes and stuff and get into a good groove, it kind of moves quicker. So the pitch clock hasn't been too much of an adjustment yet, but it definitely has in some respects.
And then also baseball is one of the forefront leagues in terms of analytics, college and also professional. In terms of analyzing what the batter does good and how you want to pitch to a certain batter, how do you do balance wise in terms of what you do best, but also trying to throw what the batter is struggling with at that moment of time?
Yeah, absolutely. See, and it's so much different between professional and college, whereas college, I was at a smaller school, so we didn't have too much of the analytics. So it was kind of like me going from no analytics at all to going to pretty much heavy analytics. And it's kind of trying to find the medium between the two. But I've realized how much the analytics help you become a better pitcher. So it's been an adjustment, don't get me wrong, but it definitely has helped me out a lot.
And then in terms of pitching, everyone gets in these situations, whether it's 3-2 bases loaded or they need a strikeout now. What is your go-to pitch? And then what can you think of a story that maybe you threw it and it worked and that's why it became your go-to pitch?
See, that's a great question. Right now, I would say my slider. I want to get to the point where I could say I want to throw any pitch in that 3-2 count. But thinking back, there's not really been like I would say actually in Cape Cod. I remember we were playing YD, the Red Sox, and I came in relief, and that team was really good, and I needed a strikeout, like you said, and it was 3-2. I don't know if it was bases loaded, so that doesn't count. But I remember I threw the slider down and in, and I got a really good swing on it. It was a swing and a miss, so that's probably just one of the few examples of me getting that swing and miss on a slider that's given me the confidence to throw it whenever.
And then a question I feel like that every baseball player ponders at some point in time: seeds or gum?
Ooh. See, I'm gonna have to go seeds. I'm gonna have to go seeds because I feel like gum, it only lasts maybe a half inning, whereas seeds could get me through maybe 4 or 5 innings. So I'm gonna have to go with seeds.
Do you have a favorite flavor or are you an original?
Definitely not an original. They actually give us jalapeno ranch seeds now. There's I don't know the name of the company, but yeah, they got jalapeno ranch seeds now that are very good. So I've been on that train for a little bit here.
Those sound pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. See, I like the spicy stuff, so that's why I like them.
there you go. And then high socks or long pants.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go high socks.
I like that. I was a high socks guy back in high school. I never wore the low pants.
Yeah, see, I always used to wear the low pants throughout high school and college, and then once I went up to Cape Cod, we had to wear the stirrups, and I think that forever changed me, and I really do. I like the high socks.
Do you still wear the stirrups every day, or just the high socks?
I don't, but I think I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start again.
Well, the stirrups are the original look.
Yeah, the original way.
Well, now I don't know if they have them in Fayetteville, but I think they can make the stirrups without the sock
thing
going
at the
underneath
bottom.
your
Yeah,
foot.
or it's just
That's what always annoyed me the most.
One sock. The one sock now.
Yeah. That's what always annoyed me the most is the thing going underneath the foot, and then you can kind of feel it in your cleat.
Yeah, definitely weird.
But thank you again for taking the time, Trey, and we wish you luck the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time and interviewing me, and I just want to say thank you.